Hey gang, how you doing? We're just going to do a little video. We had a couple of requests on the forum of doing paper seams, and I thought I had done a video once, but I think I did one and sent it to somebody in a private message. So I'll just do a quick one here and show you what to do. And away we go. So all you need is a magazine or a catalog, a little bit of rubber, and a little applicator device. In this case, it's a little pick, some little craft scissors. So it doesn't really matter on the book. I get magazine where the paper's a little bit on the thicker side. Sometimes you get those real cheap ones. I like it a little on the heavier side, but that's up for you to decide. So we're just going to pretend that this is a model and it's standing up sideways or it's laying down and it's got lots of nooks and crannies. So what I do, obviously, if say you had one big section like this, you can use one big piece. I'd make it a little smaller, like width-wise, depth-wise. I'd make it a little smaller, more like this, and then match it up, and you could do one big piece at one shot. But if you're doing into nooks and crannies, you're gonna make them into smaller pieces like this. It's a little easier to work with. So I'll just show you how I put it on. So again, pretending this is a model. So I'm just applying a little bit of latex onto the pick, and I'm just laying down a little bit of rubber. Now, some people put on one coat first of rubber and then come the next day and add, or they put a coat of rubber on and then as it's still wet, they'll apply. I've been putting it on before I put any rubber on. I'm just laying down a little bead like this. I did it this way last year. So then you take your piece, and you can see it's got a bit of a curve to it because I matched it to the curve on the model, and there you go. That's it. It's on, it's good. So if you want to add the next piece, you're just going to go right beside it. Like so. And I got my piece right here. And then I'm going to just hit a little bit of rubber on the very end. And you're just going to overlap them just that little bit. And there you go. So they're stuck together. So that's the start of your seam. What I do if I'm working on a big one, well, the rubber's a little bit wet. Sometimes you can move around a bit. So what I'll do is I'll work on one side and then I'll start working on the other, and I'll go back and forth and meet up in the middle. So it just has a few minutes to set up in between. So here's one I did yesterday, just for a demo. So say this is the next morning, you come in. So now you could do a couple things. You can either take your piece, or one big long piece would be really easy to, and come along, and you're just going to run a little bit of rubber across the top, lay your piece on, and there you go. Now you could tape it on. You don't have to use rubber. You can use masking tape. You can tape that piece on if you want, if you think it fits better. But I just find that the rubber goes really fast. It's pretty quick. Now, if I had a registry key, I would tape that on. I'll just show you quick. So what I do is I just tape that right onto the model, or onto the seam, and then I butt my next pieces up into it, onto this little flange. And it'll hold itself up. Obviously, no, now it won't because there isn't one there. But yeah, I pre-lay all my registry keys out, and then I'll go back and add the paper to the back. So here I'll just show you joining two together. So again, just run a little strip across here, and then I'll put a little bit on the back of this one. And there you go. That's it. Done. And now you're ready to paint your seam. Now I'm just going to show you one thing. I'm just going to grab a brush. So there is a little bit of a trick to when you're using paper, magazine paper for brushing. So this one here that I did yesterday, normally what I do is I'd have my seam, and then for the first coat, and I'd go right up to the edge of this one. Like I'd actually put rubber right onto that seam. Then the next day I come in, I lay my second row on, and then when I paint, I'm not going to go right to the top. I'm only going to go about halfway, and I'm going to go halfway all the way around, and again on your other side, about halfway. What happens is if I wet that top corner, and I'll show you what's going to happen. So just because I said that, it's not going to do it. But what'll happen on a bigger one is it's going to curl, it's going to do this, it's going to flop over, and then you've got a problem, then you've got a real crooked seam and you have to try and straighten that out. So what I do is over a couple of days, I do, like I said, the first coat, second coat, and then the third coat I'll come over the top and I'll cover both sides, and then you have a nice dead straight seam. You don't have any issues with it. I'll just show you here, like with her here. So you have a nice straight seam, doesn't flop over. Same here, you can see, and on her she's got a bit of a bend, but you can see they work really good. It's just my thing. Lots of people use different things for seaming, and that's cool. This is just one other way, whatever way you find comfortable, whatever's easy for you. But at the beginning I wasn't too sure when I started using this method, but when you get really good at it, it's pretty fast. You can really bang along pretty quick and get them all done pretty fast. And in the morning too, doing like the second piece to make it a bigger flange. So I hope that helps everybody out that's been asking. And hi to everybody on YouTube and everybody back at the forum. And hang on there, nice work being done. And talk to you soon, gang.